Hey everybody. So I'm back. Second day in a row. I know. New record here. Um, so I know I said I'd do a little bit of unboxing on video. I got ahead of myself. And I actually got here last night. It did not get here today. It got here last night. For anyone who doesn't have context, I got some rocks from my buddy Garrett. Um, he got me some real nice Texas stuff. This one had a crack. See? There's a crack right there. I did everything I could. These will still make some pretty monster nice points. This one was going to be a real big turkey tail. I was going to try getting the turkey tail going, but it wanted to break, so it broke. Got me some really nice landscaping rock. There's some Georgetown in here. Just fun stuff. I mean, really. And this stuff's sharp too. I cut my hand a little bit. It's alright though. Not too bad of a boo-boo. We're gonna be mixing copper and abo stuff today, because this stuff can be a little tough. But we're gonna be napping for a while today instead of a 35-minute, and it depends on how the video goes, but I plan on having it be a longer video than the last one. And then any points that I make here in this video, I'll probably make a YouTube short or two about. I'm gonna be using punch work, trying to break in this punch, and then also direct percussion and vertical indirect as well. So a little bit of something for everyone. My wooden billet broke. Just how it is sometimes. Sometimes things are just too good to exist naturally. But I found this is still a decent surface to be able to do blade cores with. I got this core I'm working on. Pretty nice one. Got some good ridges established. This surface I need to take a flake because there's some crushed areas there. And there's this really cool pink stuff that he sent me. So it's just a flake, but it was a half cobble. And it's this. It was just a nice, lucky thinning flake. But this stuff is friggin' sweet. Cortically backed, so that's gonna be fun to take off. And then he's got this the bowl gravel and landscaping stuff in his area in Texas is really nice. But I'm not gonna give out his name or anything. Just out of respect for his privacy. Protecting the innocent, you know. As Jack Crafty would say, or Patrick. But yeah, without further ado, let's shut up and nap, as they say. Oh, I got a bleeder before we even started chipping. Alright. Been a little all over the place today, so bear with me. It's snowing a bunch, so if it sounds like it's raining, I wish it was. I'd say we probably have already 6 inches or so, like total this year. It started snowing pretty much as soon as it became December. I'm up in Washington State, in case you guys didn't know. Yeah, but it is definitely cold. Oh, looks like some fell off of a tree up above me. If you're new to the channel, by the way, I'm Lithic Man. I do napping, and I'm 18. I'm a younger napper. Been napping for 5 years, since I was a little 13-year-old, up in northeastern Washington State, and I want to, you know, help contribute to the napping scene in any way I can. So I'm here. I use Aboriginal / traditional, as well as occasionally copper tools. Stone, bone, antler, that type of thing. So my grandpa's running a snow plow as well, so if you hear a tractor, that's why. Or a quad. Trying to think of what kind of point I want to make out of this. Let me get it thin before I start thinking. Get to a thin little biface here. I was kind of a little bit too aggressive when I was trying to biface this, because I don't have a ton of good platforms. That's a wonkier bit. It started off great. This is just, that was just me who messed it up. I was a bit iffy about filming today, so I had a couple things I was doing, but I got them done in time, so thought I'd film again. Yeah, but Garrett's been a good buddy of mine for a few years now. Definitely given me a lot of opportunities to do some really nice and really cool stuff. So, good guy. Oh. I don't know if you guys could see that. This stuff is super transparent. See, there's a line there, though. Wondered, no, that's a crack, because I can probably, yeah. Interesting. It was probably just a stress fracture from it being removed from this. In the future, I might be getting my hands on caribou and moose antler. Talked to one of my family friends, and his brother has a buddy who's got some sheds of stuff, so he was gonna use them for handles and whatnot, but he's not into that a ton anymore, so I may be getting them for napping. Be cool to make one of those super northern pressure flakers with the pine and then the caribou insert. I've always wanted to make one of those. So, very well may. But we'll make a couple points in this video because I upload so infrequently. No, but this stuff is on the higher end of mid-grade stone, I'd say. Just gotta make sure I'm staying in frame. This actually wouldn't make it bad at Scott's Bluff. Jesus, I'm bleeding all over the place. Here, 1 second. Let me grab a Band-Aid. Alright, I'm back. Got a Band-Aid on the thumb. So, we're good now. Just bleeding way too much for comfort. You can see, looks like a murder scene on my leather here. I don't know why this isn't working very good. Last horizontal punch I had worked wonders. I don't know, it might be I might just not be hitting it hard enough. Which, if I need to hit it harder, then I'm going to give myself more support on my leg. I'll try hitting it harder. Just don't want to put too much shock into the piece. If you guys have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. Yeah, appreciate everybody who watches, and all the likes are appreciated. Any subscribers are also very greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get to 50, so I can start going live and try and interact with you guys more, because nappers are my people. I jive with a lot of nappers. I don't jive with any, except for one, and I don't even know if he's still kicking. Not anyone on YouTube, so. I know what I'm doing wrong. Squishy support like this, something I learned from foot napping tips on YouTube, helps with shock. Helps it transfer more evenly throughout the stone. Just this kind of nasty old concrete patch in here. pressure assisted platform prep. And we'll smack that with a bopper. This one's just about worn out. You can see it's fully coned and the copper's starting to rip. There we go. We gotta get one more right here. It's a little thick still, for my standards at least. I made 1 point. I brought it inside, so I don't have it to show. But it was thick for my standards, but it was, I mean, it was good material. It probably would be better if it were cooked. A lot of this stuff would benefit from a nice heat treat. But I heat treat in a turkey roaster, and I'm only allowed to do it outside. And with the snow and everything, I don't want to break my roaster, so looks like it's gonna be raw rock for a little while. What? There's a little tiny crack in there. Opened up. Now it's pressure flaking. This stuff will teach you how to throw a good pressure flake. Oh, man. Still good stuff, though. A little rapid thinning there. Move that. Just don't want that middle to get too thin, and then it have a higher risk of breaking. So I'm going to thin next to it and then work my way to the tip. That worries me. I think I see an incipient forming. If this breaks, I mean, you can kind of see it's fine on this side, but it's just like, I'm worried about it. If this breaks in half, I would not be entirely surprised. Come on. Yeah, the base is definitely going to be the thickest part of this. Alright. More pressure work. We'll do this. my dogs keep on stealing my antler pressure flakers, so I only have this bone one, and then that tiny one I was using. That's all I have left. Couldn't get them back this time. It's getting transparent. I don't know what I want to make out of this still. I should probably figure that out like right now. I'll make my first Scots bluff out of this. At least the base will look like a Scots bluff one. I have a couple of real nice and wide balls. Like I'm probably gonna make a Montel out of this one. It's that nice banded Edwards. It's tough, definitely tough, but it flakes. Stuff's in his area. The stuff isn't super eroded. It's like fresh from the wall. I'm thinking of making a Montel out of this kind of fossily looking stuff. I like it though. And then you got a blade core out of this Pedernales. So, let's see here. Next few videos are probably just gonna be chart focused. So, all my big time Obsidian fans, I apologize. It's weird, after doing a bunch of this pressure work, my chest is sore after a few days. And I'm young doing this. Alright. Alright, let's start working on the base. She's worked on the tip well enough. Alright. You can say this is a weakly shouldered, archaic atlatl dart. Wonderfully thinned. I'm just teasing. Alright. We'll do pressure on leather for this stage. Because there are advantages to using leather. I think one of them is like better support for flakes. So it's all about that support. You know? Let me do it like this so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm doing this notch first because it's all in that concrete. Uh-oh. We might have a stall. That sucks. And that notch totally stalled out. I mean, you can totally see that notch. Not much is gonna happen to that. That's frustrating. Well, I guess that's the end of notching for that one. Let me, So it's our first one. That's how quick they're gonna come along. Then I'll, make about 3 points in this video. Deciding whether I want to crack into. It's definitely. I love Keokuk for the colors it can have in there. Those are just gorgeous. But workability, Keokuk can be great, but a lot of it can be kind of grainy. That's why it works well with horizontal punches and antler, especially. But Georgetown's one of those more, I'd say, more versatile materials to work with. Let me reformat myself. Alright, now we're good. Now we're looking photogenic, or whatever it is. No, but I also just like how blue, that Georgetown, like the truly blue stuff is gorgeous. I have a few flakes of that left, but I'm keeping those. I don't really have material to give away. Spring break, I'm probably going to Glass Buttes. So that'll be nice to fill up again. Went there last spring break. Got about 600 pounds. I went with my grandma, so it's legal. Don't worry. But yeah, that's a nice flake. A little dart point blank flake right there. Nice and thin at the base there. You can work that tip down. I gotta start saving those real tiny flakes though. I'll go over all this and pick out any flakes that I actually like really want. Because I want to get into making true dart points. Not true dart points, true arrow points. Those little tiny points. I made a few. Some of my first ones were those like the size range of the quote-unquote bird points. Yeah, I think the reason why I'm having not the best of luck with horizontal punch is because I just am sloppy with it. I forgot how aggressive you have to be with it. I haven't used a horizontal punch in 6 months. See, like, if you are super aggressive with it, then you can get good flakes like that. Like, that was super nice. Hi. Anyways, yeah, that was a good flake. Could it have gone a bit further? Sure. But this stuff is nice and translucent, too. I gotta get a light so y'all can see that. Might be a Christmas gift to me. Grab a ring light or whatever. Yeah. Let's try really smacking this with this piece of wood. Ah, not too bad, not too bad. Just trying to test different batons and see how well certain things work and how certain things don't. Anyways, we're gonna move to, this is like my second ever hammerstone. Been using it continuously for 5 years. And it's a funky looking flake. See, there's a little crack in there. Wonder if I can, yep, on the stone snapper. There we go. This isn't a bad preform for a little Snyder's, or this actually wouldn't make a bad Montel. Definitely within size range. I think it's the right material, even though a lot of them were made out of root beer, so I'd probably use this really dark stuff. It looks very similar to some of the root beer, that really high quality root beer that I've seen. Like this cobble too, that material. Or I might even, this actually looks way closer to root beer, so I might use this for a Montel. If you guys know what the right material for, like historically for Montels were, please comment below, because I've been wondering that for a little while. I was making Elkos for a tiny bit there. Wanted to do a whole project about them, but I just wasn't really ready for that. But I was using obsidian. I was using the right material for that, and they were definitely felt right to be using an Elko for that. I mean, obsidian to make an Elko. It's hard to describe. It just kind of felt right to do. I think I like it when it's turned this way a little bit, because I can hit right there where the I-beam kind of is. Yeah, it works great when I do it like that. I have a few different braiding hammerstones. Kind of a combo of both. I like to use multiple tools for the same job in case one of them breaks. Then I know another one can work. Just helps reassure me because I'm a very anxious person. Yeah, I'm super anxious. That didn't go. It's not a great sound there from the metal. Let me back that differently. Or I'll try something here. I might need to trim this. Hold on, let me do that real quick. I kind of want to trim this down. I'll pause that. Alright, I trimmed it down, and I have it underneath the leg of this chair, so hopefully that'll help. Because that's my last one I used to do. My last couple. Already feels like it'll work better. Oh yeah, that'll be great. It's weird. I like the whole like it balancing, but I feel like it absorbs too much shock that way. Whole purpose of this is to put shock into the stone, you know. And I've never struggled with a ton with having end shock in my pieces. I mostly just struggle from overshoot flakes. We're at 38 minutes. This is going to be a long video, so it'll take a while to upload for sure. Weird. There we go, finally. Jeez. This stuff is really tough when it comes to, well, the material isn't tough. It's just this punch, I think, this particular piece of antler is wanting to be kind of a jackass. It's an angry spirit of a deer trapped in there. Can tell that I'm afraid to hurt myself. Oh, back. Oh. Let me, got trim around here, around the tip. And I gotta do way more basal thinning, because that's one thing with a lot of the real Montels is, especially in early stages, you do really aggressive basal thinning. Probably with softer hammerstones. And this is like a hard but powdery. I don't know, it's kind of, it's powdery, but it's like, it's still dense enough to where it's like I could use it as a hammerstone, you know? You can see, I used it for charcoal paint a while ago. Alright. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if y'all could see that. I'm gonna angle you guys down more. There we go. Sorry if anyone was yelling at their screen to angle me down. I do my absolute best to keep in frame, but granted, I don't look at the recording as I'm doing it much. I will admit. Hey, that was a good one, man. Alright, now we're in business. Where is that? I'm just casting a spell here. This is a nice Georgetown spall I might work on in the next video. I might make another video in this same session. So if you see the same outfit, it's because it's the same session. But it'll be another napping video. I know, it's crazy. One of my all-time favorite things about Jack Crafty's stuff is all the silly voices he does. I try to mimic them, but then it makes it not so funny. Gotta come up with my own silly voices. I'm hitting this ridiculously hard. My leg's definitely gonna feel it tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Boom. Gonna and then smack it. Oh yeah, that was nice. Got all up in there. All up in there. She's getting thin. She's getting thin. Whoa, mini avalanche. That was crazy. Right on my head too. You gotta be careful. All this snow at one time. Get taken out. Then no more Lithic Man videos ever. Jeez, what a world that would be, huh? Alright. Now time to start with my least favorite thing to do. Pressure work. I need to... You can see how much I shortened it. It's only, I'd say, 2.5 feet long now. Originally, it was a whole foot longer. I just need to turn over these edges. I know I can do it with copper. No, I can't, but I just, yeah. Alright. Ow! That hurt. Stabbed myself with the brow tine. Alright, this antler, it's too soft because there's too much moisture in the air. So I'm using copper for the pressure work on this. I will be punch notching this with antler though. Specifically, this little tiny guy. I gotta start making lancelets. I don't know why I don't. I think it's just because, like, I enjoy notching. Funnily enough, I really do enjoy notching. It's fun to me, but a lot of people don't like that. They like the notches after, but they don't like doing it. I enjoy notching because I have several ways I can do it that I'm decent at. So that definitely helps. Somebody hands me a preform, they're like, hey, notch this. I'll be like, okay, what style you want? Then we go from there. There we go. Now we're getting some really nice. Now it's nice and thin at that base. I could see right through it. I've noticed certain nappers, like Sal is one good example. When he does his preforms, he always has his edges straight. I do a lot of the teardrop stuff with my preforms. Like, it's just a subconscious thing. Like, I make them, and it's like, oh, this is a teardrop. As opposed to the triangular things that, like, Sal, Jack Crafty sometimes. I don't know. Just a fun thing I've noticed. Come on. But yeah. Alright, I think this is just about ready to notch. Looks pretty alright to me, if you ask me. So, without further ado, I say we shut up and do it. Yeah? Gotta freshen this up, though. What the heck is going on? Why is it doing that? Maybe I need to freshen up the contact area. Feels solid now. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, that's my contact surface. It's a little iffy. There we go, much better. Do another flake like that. See, we got our first indent there. No, one thing that's always fascinated me though is Montels, Cumberlands recently have been piquing my interest. Folsoms, obviously Clovis, they're nice points. I make them from time to time. Adinas are pretty cool. Haskets. That's a really nice punch notch flake. I actually really like Pelican Lakes too. There's a good amount of evidence that they were punch notched. A good chunk of the time at least. Not pressure notched much. Just looking at those flake scars and looking at the similarities between what I produce with punches as opposed to pressure, it's indicative of, they were using punch work as opposed to pressure, which I think is pretty neat. Have this be it's gonna be a little bit shallow for Montel notches, or at least initially they will be. I'll go in with horseshoe nail and deepen them a little bit. Just don't feel all too comfortable with notching them all the way with this punch, considering the past couple points I've tried to notch with this particular punch have broken. I'll still do the split stem with this punch though. That face needs to, see, it's a little wonky, so we're gonna trim that edge down with copper. Just so you guys know, this is not, the tip is not done, the shape is not done. Still gonna make it go to a point. That's why I'm leaving room and I'm doing everything notch-wise now, because it's gonna be really narrow, Montel. Plus there's a line of copper residue, so I want to get that off by taking some nice long flake scars. So don't you worry. This is not done yet. About an hour though, so it's probably gonna end up being like an hour 15 video. It's gonna take forever to upload. Alright, now time to continue notching with this modern tool. Oh, spooky. More snow. This needs to not be as curved. They don't flare out like that. These need to be flatter. The ears, that's almost a Scots Bluff right there. I could just call it there and call it a Scots Bluff, but nope. We're going Montel. Alright, so those are deep enough for me, and then I'll just put the split. And then we'll bring it to a point. Where did I put that little punch? There it is. That's a good punch flake. It's probably one of my favorite parts of making points with split stems here, is seeing it transform from a regular old quarter notch to a very nicely split stem, you know. And we'll work on a little bit of that symmetry. So that's our base. Not too bad. And then we'll just make that good little point, and then I think we'll call it good for this video. Don't worry though, make another one tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking. Because I got some stuff I need to do still. Now we're shooting flakes across this face here. All right. So our progress so far on this side. Right? And I go like that, and then we'll shoot more flakes on this side. Back and forth, back and forth. But we're actually going to do both sides for this pass, and we're going to do a good amount of abrasion on this pass. I use my Lucky Ducky pink abrader. It's not the actual name of the thing is, it's just another broken wheel thing. I got a Knapping. Well, it's definitely lopsided. So, looks like that's going to be our new tip right here. Or, yeah. So we're going to have to lose pretty much all that. It'll turn out nice, though. Got a feeling it will. So, I don't really even care about this. Like, alright. Let's look here. Probably do a few more tiny choppy flicks with smaller. I mean, hey, this side at least the flaking scar patterns are really nice. Those went far, and then this one's got a nice central ridge too. I mean, it's still a little wonky. You can see, definitely a little wonky. I'll still trim it though. I don't really care about loss of length. I was more worried about width conservation more than anything. Plus, it's still not straight. So, gotta make it straight. Alright, I'm gonna call it good there with that. Or, hold on. Alright. So, not a bad session. Got 2 points. It's very saddening little guy. Got alright when it comes to thickness. On both, it was pretty alright, pretty consistent. not quite as high pitched as I usually do. That's cool. But yeah. All right. Well,